So just to, if you're online, the four of you, just to let you know is that we're here, we're ready to go. So everybody's joined in, so I'm going to get us going. I'm going to call our meeting to order. A meeting for June the 30th of 2026, a special board meeting for the Sunrise School Division Board of Trustees. We are going to have O Canada. Please stand if you can do so.
O Canada, our home and native land, true nation love, and all of us command. With glowing hearts we see right, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land, glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Thank you to Whitemouth School for O Canada. We're going to have our treaty acknowledgement. I'm going to ask Trustee Dent for our treaty acknowledgement, please.
We acknowledge the traditional land upon which Sunrise School Division resides as Treaty 1 territory. We honor our partnerships with Canada's original peoples and respect the gifts of Indigenous history, culture, and language. We commit to moving forward in partnership with our communities in a spirit of collaboration and reconciliation.
Thanks, Trustee Dent. Before the adoption of the agenda, for the people that are listening online, is that my name is Paul Mangan. I'm the board chair, and with me tonight is Superintendent Reed, Secretary Treasurer Thiessen, Assistant Superintendent Thielberg. We have Trustee Wilson, Trustee Dent, and Trustee Harris with myself, and Sarah Scott, our executive assistant here. We also have online is Trustee Boydson, Trustee Rowan, Trustee Rowan, Trustee Rowland, I'm working on it, and Trustee Smith, all here with us. So the 8 trustees are here, 4 of us are in the room, 4 of us are online. The board business that we have tonight is a ward boundary bylaw. And so in front of us, it's be it resolved that the board approve. Oh, sorry. We need to thank you. The adoption of the agenda, be it resolved the board approve our agenda. I need a mover and a seconder. Moved by Trustee Wilson and seconded by Trustee Dent. Any questions to the agenda? Hearing none, we'll vote. And it passed 8-0. Thank you for that. And thank you, Mr. Harris, for reminding me. Board business. We have a ward boundary bylaw 387-26. It's a first reading. Be it resolved that the board approve the first reading of the ward boundary bylaw 387-26. Need a mover and a seconder. Moved by Trustee Dent and seconded by Trustee Wilson. Any comments to the bylaw? Trustee Harris.
It is unfortunate that we are in the position we see ourselves tonight, that is, needing to make what I consider a last-minute decision based on a delayed election ward boundary review report. This board initially passed the first reading on March 17th of this year to a ward boundary bylaw. This decision was based on a February 19th letter received from Education and Early Childhood Learning that stated that First Nations will be added to our school division for election purposes. This letter also stated that school divisions submit their revised ward boundary bylaws to the Minister for approval by April 10th, 2026. Right from the get-go, we were under severe time limits that could not realistically be met. Over 2 months after the government deadline of mid-April, we received the Sunrise School Division Electoral Ward Boundary Review dated June 2026 from Landmark Planning and Design Incorporated, which we are discussing this evening. The recommendation in the report is to increase the voter numbers in Ward 1 by some 956 people. This is done by decreasing the voter population numbers by 353 and 603 in Wards 2 and 6 respectively. Put another way, the Whitemouth Ward will increase by 956 voters by removing 353 voters from the Enola Ward and removing 603 voters from the Brokenhead Ward. To put it yet another way, there are approximately 190 students in the Enola and Brokenhead wards who will now be represented by the trustee from the Whitemouth Ward. These 190 students include those who attend the Ecole Beausejour Early Years School and Ecole Edward Schreier School in Beausejour, as well as students attending Enola Elementary School in Enola, Springfield Collegiate Institute in Oakbank, and even students who are transported by bus to Collège Pierre Elliott Trudeau in the River East Transcona School Division. That will be an interesting experience for the next trustee for the Whitemouth Ward, who will have the opportunity to attend several PAC meetings, Christmas concerts, and many other events spanning 4 different wards over 100 kilometers from east to west or across our vast school division. We are told in the report presented tonight that should the trustees leave the distribution unchanged and add the First Nation, the province will not approve the updated electoral board boundary bylaw. I'm not sure what the implications are if we do not pass the electoral ward boundary bylaw tonight, but that particular phrase does not sit well with me. I can kind of understand the reasoning as to why the Landmark report came to the solution as presented in the report. However, it is too bad that we were not given the opportunity to include our stakeholders, that is, the voters who will be affected by these changes in this decision, and that we were not given sufficient time to explore other options. I am certainly against the proposed boundary changes as presented in the Sunrise School Division Electoral Ward Boundary Review dated June 2026. However, due to timing and the dictated requirement put upon Sunrise School Division by Education and Early Childhood Learning, I have unfortunately no choice but to vote in the affirmative to the proposed boundary changes so that this passes tonight. Thank you.
Thanks, Trustee Harris. Is there anyone else that would like to speak to this? Is there anybody online that would like to speak to this? Okay, hearing none, we'll vote. So it passed 8-0. Thank you for that. So we have the ward boundary bylaw 387-26, the second reading. Be it resolved that the board approve the second reading of the ward boundary bylaw 387-26. Moved by Trustee Dent, seconded by Trustee Wilson. Any questions, comments? Okay, hearing none, we'll vote. And it passed 8-0. Thank you. And now we have the third reading of the board boundary bylaw 387-26. Be it resolved that the board approve the third reading of the ward boundary bylaw 387-26. Moved by Trustee Wilson, seconded by Trustee Dent. Any comments? Hearing none, we'll vote. And it passed 8-0. Thank you for doing that. We have a Powerview School community use. I'm going to put the motion on the floor, and then I'll ask Mr. Reid to speak to it. Be it resolved that the board approve the community use application submitted by the 100 Years of Pine Falls Committee for the use of the Powerview School grounds, subject to final approval by the Secretary Treasurer. Moved by Trustee Magna and seconded by Trustee Harris. So before we get any comments, I'm going to turn it over to you, Mr. Reid. Comment.
Of course, the report is there for information. It does say, most recently in 2003, this has been a very historical annual request from, this group in Powerview Pine Falls that the board has previously approved. It's disappeared for a couple of years because they haven't had this event as part of their 4P festival, but it's come back this year. A little bit of work that would be, left to do probably by myself and the Secretary Treasurer is there are some things in their request letter that we probably cannot accommodate, such as power. They'll have to bring in a power source, generator of some source. And before we give them final approval, they would need to either agree to purchase insurance through our insurer or provide to the Secretary Treasurer sufficient insurance, which some outside user groups do.
Thank you, Trustee. Thank you, Superintendent Reid. Anyone else? Any comments? I will share one comment. When I was at the legislature today with the bilingual municipalities, one of the municipalities brought forward the fact is that over the summertime, our schools are vacant. And this one bilingual municipality wanted to lobby the minister that why are we not using the schools in some capacity, whether the gyms or whatever, because they were talking about taxpayers' dollars. It was an interesting conversation, and this is kind of along the lines of what was talked today at the legislature. Any other comments? Comments online? Okay, hearing none, we'll vote. And it passed 8-0. Thank you for that. Transportation Manager Hiring Committee. If people are not aware, is that our Transportation Manager has handed in his resignation, and so we need to go ahead and Secretary Treasurer Thiessen is working about rehiring a Transportation Manager. So be it resolved that the board approve Trustee Dent, Trustee Rowan, and Trustee Harris to be part of the Transportation Manager Hiring Committee. Moved by Trustee Wilson and seconded by Trustee Magnon. Any questions to this? Okay, hearing none, we'll vote. And it passes 8-0. And so we have a motion that came from in camera was that be it resolved that the board authorize the interview committee to offer the position of the transportation manager to the preferred individual effective as soon as can be arranged. So this is going to be moved by Trustee Harris and seconded by Trustee Wilson. Any questions to this? Hearing none, we'll vote. And it passed 8-0. Thank you for that. All right. I guess we didn't ask for it in the beginning, Jody, but often when we have a meeting, we ask if there are questions from the public. Can you check for us, please, if there are any questions from the public with regard to our meeting tonight?
We're all clear. No questions from the public tonight.
No questions. So this is an adjournment. So thank you very much for coming, and thank you to the people online for participating in it. Guys, it's 30th of June. To all of our staff that are listening, hopefully you're not listening because you're on holidays. The ones that are there, enjoy. Thank you very much. Thank you to all the trustees.